Hello, my name is Rowan, and today I'll be explaining our visualization project, which is on video game data, So we have downloaded video game data, which contains close to 16,000 rows, and we have visualized all this data using different graphs, different new age graphs, uh, and this has resulted in us getting beautiful insights. So let's come to the first graph. Uh, the first graph that we have plotted is the word cloud. In this word cloud, we give an insight of the top 40 publishers based on the global sales of these publishers. As you can see from the graph, Nintendo, the publisher Nintendo, the game publisher, has the highest amount of global sales. uh, we can also see that not further away from Nintendo is Electronic Arts and Sony Computer Entertainment. So these big companies, as we know, these companies produce a lot of games every year, and because of that, the game sales, the total revenue till now for these game publishers have increased quite a lot uh, from the time they've started publishing games. So if we click on Nintendo, uh, we see that there's a line graph for Nintendo where we have visualized from the time Nintendo started publishing games till today, how Nintendo has performed based on the number of game unit sales. So the y-axis actually represents the number of game units that have been sold in thousands, and these are the years. The x-axis represents the year in which Nintendo has sold that particular game. So this right now shows only the North America sales. We can use This is an interactive graph, so we can using a click of a button we can get the European sales as well, and the Japan sales, and the other sales. So I'll come back to this graph later. uh, I'll show you uh, I'll show you the other graph, like the choropleth graph. So what this graph does is, in this graph, what we have done is we have plotted different genres, like we have plotted different genres of games, like which genre is liked the most in different parts of the world. So we have divided this map into four different parts, which is North America, the European Union, Japan, and the other countries apart from these three countries. The reason we have divided our map uh, into these four is because most of the sales for any game comes from either North America or the European Union or Japan. So we have clustered all the remaining countries as the other countries. So if we look at the action games, this is an interactive graph. So we can we can select whichever genre we want to see the data for, and if we select the action genre, we see that North America has, like, the amount of revenue North America has got is close to $877 million, which is very high and is indicated by how blue the color is on North America. So this shows that there is a very high amount of sale for action games, which has resulted in such a dark blue color. And if we come to the Russian Federation and the European sales, we see that the total amount of sales in revenue for action games is close to 524, which is the reason it is not as blue as North America. And if you compare it to Japanese sales, it's way less, which is close to 159 million, and the other countries all they sum up to 187 million. So this is just for action games. If you go on seeing it for different genres of games, you see that again. The thing is, as if we see a trend, North America dominates for each and every genre of game because people love gaming over here. It's quite a culture in North America, and as you see, even if you see fighting games over here, close to 223 million. The amount of revenue for fighting games has been close to 223 million, which is quite a lot compared to 101 million for Russian Federation. Well, if we take a uh, so the thing is, now if we go on and click uh, on the region of North America, we see that there has been a lot of action games that is being played. If you see this donut graph, we see that the top three genres that North America prefers is action, which is this blue in color, uh, racing games. I'm sorry, sports, which is this 15.6%, and shooter games. So this can be attributed to games like Call of Duty Black Ops, Black Ops 2. So these games are the games that are like really famous in North America, and they come under the genre of action and shooter, and also sports games like NFL Madden, FIFA. FIFA is one of the most loved games in the game for the gaming universe. It is one of the most loved sports games, and also NFL Madden. Most of the Electronic Arts sports related games are loved by the North Americans. Now, if we go into deeper insights, if we see what Europe likes, is again you see that even Europe likes 21% of the European sales that have been sold, the amount the games, 21.6% of them are action games, which again shows how much they love for action games. Well, action games are loved worldwide, so it's no surprise. And since we have brought in Russia as well in the European Union, we can actually confirm, we can actually justify our point, because most of the online Call of Duty gamers are Russians, and those Russians are really emotional. So you can see the in most of the YouTube videos, if you see an live gaming live stream, you see most of the emotional, angry people are Call of Duty players are Russians, and it's good because they do love their gaming and they do love their action games. And there's an interesting plot over here. If you look at the Japanese sales for the overall Japanese sales for different genres of games, we see that role playing games are close to 27.3% compared to all the other genres. Uh, One of the main reasons is especially the game Dota 2. Dota 2 has been it has a tremendous amount of sales in Japan, because uh, and even if you see the top gamers in Dota 2, you'll obviously find them from Japan, because there is a huge fan following for Dota 2 in 27 point sorry in Japan, and that's the reason close to 27.3% of the people in Japan love role playing games. And it's not just Dota 2. There are many Nintendo games as well that are role playing, and which make all these Japanese love role playing games. So, and if we go to other countries, what the other people love, it's again action games. Most of the people love action and sports games. This is one of the reasons why the game like Call of Duty and FIFA, so these games are always used in gaming competitions. If you go to any gaming competition, you'll definitely find games like Call of Duty, FIFA, even Dota as well, because these are some famous games that is played all around the world, and that's been justified by the amount of percentage that's close to 23.5% in for all the other regions of the world. So once yeah, so this is, you can see this graph gives you not just for action but for all the other genres as well, like adventure, fighting, puzzle, strategy, sports, etc. uh, Now let's come to the platform wise sales of games. What this graph shows you is a bar chart where we have plotted the game sales. Like this is the uh, this is the revenue that every gaming platform has produced till now. And if we see from the bar chart, we see that, if we see from the bar chart, we see that PS2 has close to a whopping 1.8 billion, 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 1 1.2 billion uh, in revenue, $1.2 billion in revenue. This actually is not a surprise, because when PlayStation released in 2000, uh, the amount of uh, upgradation, if you may say, the upgrade it received from PS1 was phenomenal, because not just the upgrade in graphics, but also the upgrade in gameplay resulted in a huge fan following for PlayStation 2 games. And also, when PlayStation 2 was released, there were very few competitors for PS2. So when it released in 2000, it was just swooping the gaming market from 2000 to 2004, 2005. And in 2005, that is when Nintendo released its DS emulator. But till then, PS2 was just dominating the gaming market. As you can see, even DS has pretty good gaming sales, and this has DS has done pretty well or all around the world, especially in Japan. Uh, you can also see fewer older gaming consoles like 3DS and 2600, Atari 2600, Game Boy Advance. Though these have very not very low, they have close to $318 million of revenue, the total revenue. This doesn't mean that they haven't sold a lot of games. It's just that the cartridges or the games that were for Game Boy or Game Boy Advance were very cheap compared to a PlayStation 2, which costs close to like $20 or $30 per gaming unit, compared to like very few dollars for Game Boy or Game Boy Advance. uh, as we can see nowadays, the gaming consoles, the gaming platforms that we play, the prominent ones right now is PS4 and Xbox One. So we see that these are quite picking up, and these have used their predecessors success to actually uh, pick up from where their predecessors left. Like if you see, PS4 has picked up from PS3, which was quite a success, and Xbox One has picked up from X360, which again was quite a success. Some honorable mentions would be Nintendo Wii, which is a very good gaming console and still is, and quite a lot of people do prefer Nintendo Wii. So this was the platform-wise sales of games, which shows that PS2 till date has been the most profitable and one of the best platforms. Like you can tell it was the game-changing platform uh, for the gaming universe. Now let's go to the next graph, which is year-wise sales of the top five publishers. Like I said, I'll be coming back to this graph. So in this graph, we see that this we can choose the top five publishers. The top five publishers for the gaming universe are Nintendo, Electronic Arts, Activision, Sony Computer Entertainment, and Ubisoft. So, if we select right now, I'll be analyzing the graph for Nintendo. Now, if you see the global sales for Nintendo, if I bring in all the parameters, this is an interactive graph. So, if I bring in all the parameters, uh, I see that till 1985 to 1990, Nintendo was doing pretty good. It was doing pretty fine, until it came to 2005. Like I said, in 2005, Nintendo released its DS, and it was a tremendous hit, which resulted in like a huge spike over here. You can see the global sales. The global sales was it was a whooping. It was a game changer actually. For in 2005, that was Nintendo DS was the only thing that could actually compete with the PlayStation 2, because DS was portable and it did give us pretty good graphics as well. So and the games released and most of the games released for Nintendo DS was by Nintendo. So that's one more reason why you could see the amount of sales for Nintendo has shot up a lot in 2005. So these are again the sales for the number of gaming units. It's close to in thousands, so it's close to 180,000 gaming units that have been sold. So this for Nintendo. Since it's an interactive graph, I can actually pull this up, and I can just show you the 1989 1990 sales, and I can stretch this. I can bring can like there's quite an interactive graph where I can, if you want to know the exact amount of sales for each and every year, you can zoom in more, and oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you can zoom in more, and yeah, you can keep on zooming in. This is more of an quite an interactive graph, and this is how you can play around with this. One more quite an interesting insight over here is for Electronic Arts. This is actually quite good. Electronic Arts as well, with their games like NFS series, FIFA. They have always been performing well after the 2000s. They have been consistently performing well because all these games like FIFA, NFS, they have their sequels coming up. They keep on releasing sequels, which results in more fan base for that particular uh, for that particular game. So FIFA right now, well, the latest release of FIFA was FIFA 2017, which is quite a hit among all the FIFA gamers, and also NFS recently released its Most Wanted series, the updated Most Wanted version, which was again quite a massive hit among all the gaming universe. The trend I wanted to show you in the trend, the insight in this graph I wanted to show you is, if I remove the global sales, the Japan sales, and the other sales, uh, you see that for the past, from when EA started developing games, uh, North America has always beaten Europe when it came to EA sales. Like, it has always been way above Europe. But as we come close to 2012 to 2016, we see that EA is beating North America in its sales. One of the main reasons for this is because FIFA games like FIFA, which is highly soccer based, has improved tremendously from the year 2012. FIFA 2012 wasn't rated that highly by the gaming reviewers in for the year that was for the 2012 year that was released. But in the next year, the upcoming year, that was FIFA 2013, that was quite a huge change compared to FIFA 2012 in terms of gameplay and graphics as well. And it had got a very high rating compared to FIFA 2012. And since it's all about European football in FIFA, and since all the Europeans love their football, soccer, we the Europe there was a high increase in the amount of sales in uh, for the game FIFA in the European Union, and that's one of the main reasons why you can see such a change after 2012, where European Union beats North America for the sales for Electronic Arts. So this is how it worked for Electronic Arts, and even Ubisoft developed many good games like Prince of Persia, Far Cry, and even Sony had developed quite a lot of good games. So now we come to the multi-line parallel axis graph. Well, in this graph, the different axes are the columns that we want to deal with. Well, the different axes in this graph are global sales, North America sales, European Union sales, Japan sales, and other sales. Well, as you can see in this graph, the top line represents. This graph has been done for different variables. Well, the different variables over here are publishers, genres, and platforms. So this is done for different variables. So if we come to the platform, we see that this graph looks a bit cluttered, but it can be very well explained by uh, for every uh, for every axis over here. Like for a global sale, this line is for PS2. This means close to 1.2 billion 1.2 billion dollars of revenue has been grossed by PS2. And if you cut it down, like if you break down its sales, then we see that close to 500, like 570 million is for North America, 350 is for Europe, 140 is for Japan, and close to 190 is for 190 or 200 is for the other countries. So this is how you read the graph. As we see, this graph is very good because you can directly come to know which is the which is the best platform, where which is the best platform compared to all the other platforms that has performed till now. And we see that PlayStation 2 beats all the other platforms by quite a big margin. We see that PlayStation 2, we also see that PlayStation 2 is not the favorite everywhere. Just actually, it comes as the second best in different continents. If you see the North America sales, in North America, Xbox is preferred. In Europe, PS3 is preferred. That is, you can say that because you can count PS3 as a part of PS2 because it's an upgrade to PS2. And in Japan, like I said, DS has a very big fan base in Japan, and they love Nintendo DS and all the games that are played that works on Nintendo DS. Well, this is also an interactive graph. So what we can do over here is we can select a particular region that we want to look at. Like if we want to see uh, the platforms which are like which have global sales ranging from 200 to 500, North America sales ranging from 150 to 100, uh, U sales ranging from 150 to 50, Japan sales ranging from 80, 80 to 40, and this is all in millions that I'm talking about, and other sales ranging from 40 to 80 million dollars. We see that there's just one such uh, platform, that is PSP. So you can do this for many other different gaming platforms, and this can give you very good results, for very good results based on what exactly you want. And this is very good because this graph makes it very interactive, very user friendly, which makes sure that the the user knows the user can get what exactly he wants. So this is a pretty interactive graph, and this can be done for, like I said, this can be done for different variables like genres and publishers. Now coming into the next graph that we made, this graph is a streamlined graph where we took the top six publishers and we tried to compare them year wise. Like for the past from 2000, we tried to compare them. Initially, we were like, okay, all of them are performing quite well, all the six publishers, until I said, this is the time when all the publishers were doing pretty good. This is not platform wise because 2000 was the time when PlayStation 2 released, like I said. So these uh, most of the publishers were developing PS2 games over here. But as you come close to 2005, you see a big area over here, and this is Nintendo that is dominating the gaming industry. This is when Nintendo DS was released, and a lot of Nintendo DS games were made by Nintendo, which made sure that they swept the year 2005 and 2006 completely compared to its other competitors. And this is one of the reasons this area is so wide compared to the other smaller regions for Konami, Activision, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, and Sony. Now, as we went ahead, we went further through the years. We see that Activision did improve. You see a quite a wide mark over here, wide area over here. The one of the main reasons for this is it released Call of Duty Black Ops, which was really game changing for Activision because it was one of the game changing shooter games that is still loved by the gaming universe, and it had a lot of game unit sales. Even Electronic Arts has quite a lot of area over here because uh, NFS Most Wanted, the first Most Wanted, which is considered to be the best game by most of the gamers. If you don't, it had the thing is it had decent. graphics, but it had one of the best storylines ever for a game, and that's where NFS changed. The brand of NFS changed, and that's what helped Electronic Arts to maintain uh, this revenue, this thick area for the coming years. This was the point where everything started with NFS Most Wanted, and it's not just NFS, the game, the series of NFS. It also produced games like FIFA, which was again which have a great huge fan base for for the sports game FIFA and all the other sports games that Electronic Arts produces. And Nintendo also, they did maintain quite a lot of they did maintain their consistency. If you see Sony and Ubisoft, they also produced pretty good games. Sony produced games like Minecraft. I mean, who doesn't love Minecraft? Everyone does, right? So quite a lot of Sony's revenue had come from Minecraft, and Ubisoft as well. They released games like Far Cry 2 and Prince of Persia. So these games were quite remarkable for Ubisoft, as they helped them in generating a lot of revenue. As we come closer and closer, we see the graph converges. In 2016, it converges because we don't have a lot of data for 2016. But one of the reasons why this is converging, like uh, compared to a very thick, very wide range over here to something in 2014, 2015. One of the reasons this is happening is the company started producing fewer games compared to what they used to produce like 10 years back. Because right now, most of the companies, they try to hit most of the gaming universe with two or three games which are high end, high graphics, which take quite a lot of time to actually build and make, compared to the previous games that didn't take a lot of time. uh, like it was, if you actually bring it down to size, the games previously were close to like how much, 50, 100 MB max, 500 MB max, and nowadays games close to 50 GB are made. Like the newest release of Call of Duty is 50 GB. It's a game with close to 50 GB, and that requires massive amount of coding and a massive amount of people to actually build such a game. So that's the reason why the to maintain such high end graphics, the amount of games that are released has decreased, but the quality of the games has increased quite a bit. So this was what our project was, and this is how we visualized data, and we gained quite really keen insights from the data that we visualized. Thank you.